Congratulations, ladies and gentlemen, for the completion of Mario Kart World, our biggest, most graphically impressive, and most ambitious game in Mario Kart history. Let's fucking go! What should we price it?
How about $80, sir?
Why?
It has an open world. No other racing game has ever done that.
Well, you sold me.
And you sold me. But you haven't sold me, buddy.
Mario Kart World is a lot of fun. When I was thinking about what the next Mario Kart could offer, Mario Kart World was not what I had in mind. I was just thinking inside the box that Mario Kart has been existing in since forever. A couple of new tracks, a better online, more characters, please. But I didn't think much beyond that. Mario Kart has just been Mario Kart for such a long time now that I didn't expect Mario Kart 9 to be any different. I didn't think Mario Kart could be anything else. So for me, the announcement of Mario Kart World was exciting. Here's Nintendo being ambitious for a game that doesn't warrant it. Mario Kart could have just been the standard 32 tracks, battle mode, and online, and they would have probably gotten away with it, but they didn't. They added a world to explore, a mode that to me has to be a staple for future games, and even a reworked Grand Prix. Yes, even the most standard mode for Mario Kart was reworked. So many incredible choices and additions. And yet, it didn't click with people as much as I think Nintendo expected. Mario Kart World is an incredible game on its own, but it carries a lot of baggage outside of its control. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe ended its lifespan with 96 courses for essentially the same price, making it a target for comparison rather than appreciating it for what it is on its own. And the $80 price tag raised expectations beyond what the game could offer at the time. And that's not to say that Mario Kart World's mechanics are perfect either. Many did not take to the new gameplay loop and a barren open world. Watching this discourse is always interesting because I agree with a lot of the criticism for this game, but I also want to come to its defense a little bit. I want to be this guy. So let's take a look at Mario Kart World 1 year later, the goods, the bads, and ask the question, what did we want from Mario Kart on Switch 2? Mario Kart World looks stunning, and I don't just mean the graphics, but the scale of some of the tracks, especially the big finishes, are jaw-dropping. DK Spaceport, Question Block Ruins, Dry Bones Burnout, and of course Rainbow Road are standouts that really push the world aspect of this game to another level. Instead of feeling like a disconnected 3-lap track, Airship Fortress feels like the climactic ending to a marathon rather than your typical Grand Prix from previous Mario Karts. But in that lies people's first major complaint with this game. People really like the classic 3-lap tracks. The idea of driving to the course is interesting and novel. It challenges the classic formula that has been in place since the original Mario Kart on the SNES. But did Mario Kart need that shakeup? No, I don't think it did. But that doesn't mean we can't appreciate them for trying. It reminds me of the crowd of people who say, "No one asked for this game." Yeah, no one asked for the formula to change, but it did. And this is how the developers, the artists, intend for us to play this game. It's why you're forced to play this style online. Because the developers intended for us to play the game like this. Yes, there are 3-lap tracks, but the game's whole premise is that everything in this game is connected. It's a world. And people don't like that. Player choice was not taken into account when it comes to how we want to experience Mario Kart World. We are forced to experience this Mario Kart, with the obvious caveat being just don't play the game. It might not seem like a big change, but the way this changes how you experience the game does feel incredibly different. Let's take Music Park for example, a 3DS course in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. In the 3-lap system, you go through the same landmarks 3 times, which gives you more time to appreciate the course and the detail that goes into it. Mario Kart World tracks are just as detailed, if not more, but you only go through it once because of the way the game is played. So naturally, some players aren't going to feel as attached or remember as much about these tracks as with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. If you played Dino Dino Jungle 3 times in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, you go through the course 9 times. If you played Dino Dino Jungle in Mario Kart World 3 times, you go through it 3 times. This is a double-edged sword. On one hand, the tracks might feel less memorable for part of your audience, but on the other hand, it might keep the game feeling fresh and encourage more replayability because you will notice more things the more you play. One is not better than the other, both have their own merits. For me, I just like that Nintendo tried something different with Mario Kart while still keeping its core identity. Core identity being it's just a racing game with Mario characters. I can understand why some people would be pretty upset or disappointed at how this game was handled, though some of them can be a little obnoxious.
This is the worst Mario Kart of all time.
Nintendo has ruined Mario Kart!
Okay, tampoco. I don't like the highways or the roads that lead to the next course. What was once a unique mechanic for levels like Toad's Turnpike is now just a less interesting variant for every level in Mario Kart World. I know that making these more busy and having more going on would have been difficult given there are 24 racers and you still had to incorporate a free roam mode, but I feel like more could have been done to make these segments feel more exciting. That's not to say all of them are total drags. Dinosaurs are running at you for Dino Dino Jungle, animals run with you in the faraway oasis. Sand dragons, whose names escape me, plop out of the sand around the desert hills. I see these and I think more could have been done to make the journey from Cheep Cheep Falls to Dandelion Den more exciting. I think I just don't like seeing standard cars on every single one of these levels. With just a bit more variety, I think a lot of my issues would have gone away. Something that I will say is just way better this game is the roster. Look at Mario Kart 8's roster. Why are most of them the Koopalings? It's okay though, they did fix it with DLC. They added Tanuki Mario and Pink Gold Peach. Mario Kart World's roster is incredible. Yes, there's a bunch of fluff. There's Penguin, there's Cow, there's Conqueror. This is what a Mario Kart game with 24 racers will look like. Yeah, there's a few characters missing that's a little weird, like Diddy Kong or Funky Kong. I also want Dixie Kong. But in terms of playable characters, you can't complain too much. What I don't like though is how they handled the costumes. Mario Kart World has cute little costumes for some of the characters. I don't even mind that some of the characters don't have them, like yeah, I get why there aren't any costumes for Penguin or Pokey. What I don't like is that they're all treated as different characters. It makes this character select screen look clumsy and overcrowded. It's already going to be a little overcrowded with how many characters there are, but now I gotta look at Mario with a racing outfit separately from just Mario. They're not different people, just let me select the costumes like you can select Yoshi's colors. Colors? Colors in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. What's the point of making it like this? This is something I hope gets patched. It's very minor, but it bugs me how this got through.
Okay, let me get in an online match and see what Mario Kart's all about.
What the fuck? This game raised the skill ceiling tremendously. Holy mother of fuck, how the hell do you even get up there? Wall jumps, rail grinding, these little hops you do over players and NPCs, all of it together allows you to do some of the most insane things I've ever seen in Mario Kart. Okay, let's see a YouTube tutorial on how to do this shit. Okay. Oh yeah, okay, that makes sense. Because of the... okay, yeah. Now let me try it. I'll just do this. Fuck, I'm cool. This was an incredibly interesting choice by Nintendo, not because it's bad or anything, but more like Nintendo's always so gung-ho about making their game accessible to everyone. This means adding all these random elements to help even the worst of players stand a chance. These new mechanics kind of make it feel like those fighting games where people complain about the tryhards. I wonder if the reason these mechanics were added were to make the free roam mode more exciting to get around. Maybe Nintendo thought that your typical driving in Mario Kart 8 wouldn't be enough to keep the player interested in the free roam, and as a result, we ended up with this. It's cool to see people get rewarded for putting so much time into this game though. There are channels dedicated to just performing these tricks and showing you shortcuts. A game that's created a community like this? I feel like it's doing pretty good, just off that alone. Let me ask you this, what's the main selling point of this game? You know, apart from this is Mario Kart. What separates this game from other Mario Karts? The answer is not simply this open free roam mode. Free roam is just one mode that is supposed to highlight the main draw. The main draw being that everything is connected. And free roam mode is just the main mode that showcases this. Free roam gets a lot of flack. It's constantly criticized for being empty, boring, flat. It's not like there's nothing to do. You can collect Peach medallions, complete P-Switch challenges, exploring some of the areas and doing tricks around the world can be rewarding. And if you have friends with the game, then you can drive around and take pictures. But this wasn't enough for a lot of people, was it? Why is that? I think people saw Mario Kart World, they saw the $80 price tag, they saw the marketing about driving virtually everywhere, and their expectations skyrocketed. The consumer sees and hears open world Mario Kart and they start thinking, oh, this is gonna be like Nintendo's Forza or something like that. Expectations got big. That isn't to say that I think fan expectations weren't unwarranted, by the way. I think when you price a brand new game at $80, you're gonna raise some eyebrows. You're gonna make people believe that there's a reason for why Nintendo was so confident to price this at $80, when in reality, the real reason is just they knew they can get away with it. Free roam is not this massive, bombastic open world game that demands you to beat it. It's just there. It's there for you to drive around, drive to something that caught your interest and say, that's neat. This isn't a criticism. The people who defend Mario Kart World's free roam express how they hop on this mode just to relax. They plop in at a random point on the map and just drive around to see what they can find. Mario Kart World's free roam is subtle, and that's okay. The people who find free roam boring are asking for another game, a game that Nintendo was simply not making. This isn't to say that this free roam mode is perfect, and if you were to ask me about where I stand with free roam, I align more with the camp of people who find it boring. Free roam did not captivate me. It wasn't for me. Mario Kart World was not the Mario Kart I wanted. I wanted a Mario Kart with a mission mode, similar to Mario Kart DS. I want to play Balloon Battle, more on par with 64 and Double Dash. I want Funky Kong in the fucking game. I'm not too fond of the driving to the next track, mostly because they're uninteresting to me. I couldn't get invested in the free roam mode. I hate that some of the characters are locked behind a random item you get. I spent over 300 hours playing Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I kept playing and playing. That hasn't been the case with World so far. It didn't grab me like 8 did. However, I do think that's a little bit of an unfair comparison. When Mario Kart 8 Deluxe came out, I was a sophomore in high school. I have a 9-to-6 job now. Mario Kart World asks you to take your time with unlocking everything instead of fireballing unlockables, which I don't really have the time for. A lot of Mario Kart World is not catered to me, and yet it makes me sad to see how many people express extreme negativity about what the game ended up being. Something I've noticed with Nintendo, especially during the Switch 2, is that they're making a bunch of games no one asked for. No one asked for a sequel of Kirby Air Ride. No one wanted Pokemon Pokopia. No one wanted a Yoshi game where you take 0 damage, but they're still doing it. They're still experimenting, and I like that about them. Some of those games aren't gonna appeal to you, but I appreciate Nintendo for trying to do something different with these franchises. It'd be easy for them to make another Yoshi's Island, another mainline Kirby game, not this for Pokemon, a normal Mario Kart. They chose to make those changes. And just like they're allowed to make those choices, the fans that don't like them are allowed to criticize the game for what it is. But the reason I get sad is that I see people criticizing this game for what it's not. Why isn't there more 3-lap tracks? Why isn't there DLC? Why isn't the game getting constant update like it's a live service? Mario Kart World was never gonna be that game. I think what makes this game such a hard pill to swallow for some is that at the end of the day, it's $80. A lot of people probably got the game through the bundle, so they only paid $50, but when a game is $80, you start to force your own expectations on the game. I know I did. So when we ask what we wanted from Mario Kart, the answer is simple. We wanted a Mario Kart that lived up to the $80. For some, it was, and this game went above and beyond what they could have ever imagined. For some, it was a disappointment. There will probably be DLC for this game later down the line. I wouldn't count on it being anytime soon. I mean, look at how long it took for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. But I'm sure the conversation around the game's price will come into question again when it does. Just try to remember, this game might not be worth $80 to you, but it is to someone else. Let me know in the comments how you felt about Mario Kart World. Tell me why I'm wrong or right about my feelings about the game. Thank you for watching, and have a blessed day.